Hi. Um, we are from Group 12. This is our final project for SecureHire. So, welcome to SecureHire. This is the future of job application where we integrated enterprise grade security and cutting edge AI technology as well. In today's digital landscape, traditional job platforms fall short in protecting sensitive candidate data and providing intelligent matching. So secure hire changes that completely. So you see, we are the team of 5 people. I am Vishal Patel, and other members are already written over here. Whoever is part of this project, and so basically the idea is that every day millions of job applications contain sensitive personal information. For example, we have resumes, we have contact details, our salary expectations, etc. But still, most platforms treat this data with basic security measures, and so candidates struggle to find relevant opportunities as well. And recruiters waste a lot of hours shifting through unqualified applications and all. So we dealt with that problem, and this is our solution for it. So you see, this is the architecture which we are currently working on. So we have a front end, so which is performance optimized, and it have modern UI components based on Radix UI, and it also do the real time updates because we use the React query for state management. We use the mutations and all, and it is also responsive in design. So it is flexible for every device, even if it is mobile, iPad, anything. And it has some AI powered features as well. For example, we have a feature which is AI based ATS score analysis, where when we upload our resume, it will analyze that resume and give us some ATS score on that basis. And also on that basis, on the basis of your ATS analysis, we can also get the skills and things which we have in our resume, which we are looking for as a job role. So it also provides a job recommendation as well. And for job recommendation, since doing web scraping was a lot of uh, trouble, so we used an external API, which is SERP API, and using that, we provided the links for the jobs, so that that is also a more secure way to do that. And not just that, we also integrated a lot of security integrations and all. For example, for the forms, we use the Zord, and we did a lot of things like rate limiters, then XSS, CSRF, all these things we applied. So the front end will make API calls to the backend, and backend will be basically based on the Spring Boot, and it also it uses Spring Boot controllers to create the RESTful APIs, and it also consists of core business logic, security services. When you check it out here, for example, let's first we go to the front end. So we have these things. So let's say we have in source we have a lot of things like components, then context hooks, then lib, then pages. We have a lot of pages here. We have also maintained a documentation page as well, and we have services, then our styles, some testing part is also done, then we have types, utils, then all the major things we have here already. And you can also see that we have some, since we use jest for the testing purpose, so we have jest as well. And you can see in the package.json we have a lot of dependencies where we used mostly Radix UI for the front end components, and we also have the Axios for the API calls and all, and some more components related to the date points and connection. And then we have the Express as well for some session, and then Passport, React DOM, Hook Form. Then we use the React Router DOM as well, router as well, and mainly for the validation we use the Zord and Zord validation error. And we have little bit more on the dev dependency side. So yeah, so all these things are mentioned over here. If you go here, we can find it out. And apart from this, so the basically the components are also um, modularized so that it can be more maintainable. So we have a separate for applications. We have other things like error documentation. Then our dashboard is also separate. In dashboard, we have multiple layers of components as well. For the loading part, we have two types of state. So we have all those things. For navigation, also you can check the navigation header. So we have a lot of context here to check. So and now we'll go to the backend side. So you see the POM file, since backend is based on the Spring Boot 3, and since it is based on the Spring Boot 3.4.3 something, and also we use the Java version 17 for it. So we have all these things here, and you can see the other dependencies also here. Like we use the Spring Boot starter data JPA. So we use data JPA because since it's an ORM, or you can say when we create database schema, so we use this ORM from the Spring Boot, which is our data JPA. So it internally uses Hibernate to create the queries, and since all the queries is based on the prepared statement, so everything, so it's like SQL injection is no longer a case for this. So we can't do the SQL injection properly, or you can say we totally prevented that part of the vulnerability by just architecture, by just using a better alternate thing, like alternate better ORM, which is data JPA. And for the database, we use PostgreSQL, and we used one more extension into that, which is Vector. And apart from this, we have a lot of more things. For example, for the monitoring and error tracking, we use the Sentry. We could have used Datadog as well, but we felt that we should, since it's modern world, so we should use Sentry probably. And we also use the Lombok as well for the entity generation automatic. you know so apart from this, we have the JUnit for the test cases, for the unit test cases and all. And we also manually tested every API endpoints through Postman. And then we have Elasticsearch for better index searching for the job. So we this is only for the scalability purpose and optimization purpose of this. So so that we can find out the if jobs are a lot, like more than 1 lakh, 2 lakh. So it's better to you implement the Elasticsearch to find out the jobs easily. You know, and we have a lot of more things like SLF4J as well for the error handling part and all. Um, Then we use the OWASP Java HTML sanitizer for sanitizing for the XSS layers where we can prevent all those things and prevent HTML injection, XSS attacks, these things. Then we have the Bucket4j as well. So this is also part of the security implementation stuff, and we use JWT tokens, and yeah, so these things are basically for the security implementation related stuff. And this is our this package we included for this is basically for the PG vector. So so that the vector operations can be executed on the PostgreSQL side. So it's basically a plugin, you can say, but not like that. Then we use the OpenAI GPT-3, and so it's like we use this model. So it's a dependency which we use inside so that we can create our prompt. I'll show you that a little bit later. Then we have the Guava, and we have the PDF box as well for parsing the resume. So since we upload our resume here, so we need to parse it to fetch the data inside the resume so that we can give it to the analysis and all. And after that we have this Apache. So these are basically for viewing the resume and all. Then we have Amazon S3. So we need to solve the problem of uploading the file. So we use the S3 bucket to upload our files, resume files. So we use the S3 bucket here. There was a major vulnerability which we fixed as well. We'll tell you later in the video. And some actuator as well. These are also security dependencies. The starter, the aspect oriented programming things are also there. The some little bit of application cache layers are already there. So these things we have, and these are the plugins and all. So we don't want to go there. And this is the the example file. So I have mentioned all the details in the .env file, so I'm not gonna open it. So when we push it to the bit bucket, so it will not include, since we added everything in the git ignore. So it will not include you see here. So it will not include the environment variable files. So this is basically how we separated all the secure credential. We can do this on even better or different way. For example, when we deploy, we can directly put it in the you know the website configuration things and all. But for now, we are everything doing on the local, so we're not going for the production since it will be very costly and even more time consuming. And so we are basically focusing on the POC part of this, so that and the security implementation, so that we can do some attacks on our website and try to figure out if our website is getting blocking all those threats. So for that, I'll just tell you that yeah, we are able to block those things, and you see, so we are already here, and let's deep dive into this DB thing. So it's a initial data schema. So since we need to include the vector extensions, that's why we give this thing. Then we have our source. Then this is the build file. So whenever we build anything, it will get built in the target. So yeah, then we have this, and this is Java. Then here you see we have a lot of configuration files. So this is our CORS configuration. So this is how we configured our CORS policies, like set allow origin and all, set exposed headers, etc. So these things, yeah, you see it here, right? So everything is here mentioned, and then we have our database initializers. So what happened that we have few data tables in our schema which needs to be initialized so that we can get the initial values for that table. There's a lot of scope of improvements here, but for now we'll just initializing the database with some role, for example candidate, recruiter, admin. These kind of roles we are we are giving it initially so that there will be no trouble getting all those things. Then we have the Elasticsearch config layer, where we are basically, this is also a configuration file for the Elasticsearch, where we are setting up all those things like the um, the everything related to the Elasticsearch, all those configurations. Then we have the HTTP client configuration for, and then we have, this is a multi-part config file. So this is basically for our S3 bucket, since our S3 bucket utilizes like it uploads the file in multiple parts so that it will be easy to upload. That's why we have this multi-part config. Then we have our OpenAI config layer, probably, and you see like these things are not here. everything is out of the scope for, let's say, you should you should not do something like this. The API key, since the API keys we have already given in the env file, so we are not supposed to do it like this. So we are taking the API key from here. In case if we are not getting the API key from the environment files, we can always get the API key from somewhere, like we can directly give it here. So it's for that, and then we have the S3 config. So this is for the AWS configuration things and all. So yeah, that's how we set up the S3 clients and all, set up some configuration. Then we have the your Sentry configuration for our error tracking and performance monitoring things. So you see all these things like the Sentry options and all, everything is here, and with the proper comments and documentation so that anyone can be easily able to maintain it. You know. Um, then we have the Sentry HTTP interceptor. Since we need to intercept every API calls because it is important so that the Sentry can get to know that if it is making we're making if some user can do some API calls to the backend, so Sentry should know all those things. That's why we have it here, the HTTP interceptor. Then we have vector index initializer. This for the extension of the our Elasticsearch. So, sorry, this is extension for the Postgres. So there are a few more things like we are using JDBC template to execute this query. So it will create the index for job embeddings. Then it will create the user embeddings, which is basically candidate in our case. Then we have a web config file as well where we are configuring few endpoints to intercept. You know, so apart from this config layers, we have some constant, for example, application status. So we have pending, applied, reviewing, interview scheduled, approved, accepted, rejected, all those things. Then we have our business sector.java file, which will include the IT, finance, marketing, sales, HR operations, customer service, logistics, engineering, management, other things. Then we have our company type, which is startup, enterprise, government, then employment type, and all these things, and job type. Then we have location type. Then we have our role name. Then we have the skill subtype and skill type. All these things are already here. Then we have here are the main things. These are the REST API controllers. So we have lots of tons of controllers. It's very hard to go through every one of it. So I'll just go to the like major one, like the ATS resume analysis controller. So here, using this API, we can upload our resume. So you see, this is a upload resume function, and then we have when we upload our resume. So this is the service which we are calling, and it is getting auto configured. So we have using auto wired keyword here so that it can get auto configured. So this is the basic Spring concept where we keep everything, so there should be um, space of concern. So every object should be different so that we can maintain. So these things are here. Inversion of control we are achieving by this, so that yeah. So this is all basically Spring concepts. And these are just a better way to write the code. So that's how we write the code in enterprises. And so yeah, then we are also mentioning the better log layers, that yeah, so these things, you know then we have let's say, let's go with the candidate controller. So that's how we create the candidate controller. So we get the profile, the update profile, and all those things, then delete user, then the change password and all. But this is not in the current scope, but yeah, we are looking into it so that we can fix it. I mean, we created the controller, but we didn't implement in the front end layer yet because it would be time consuming, and we also thinking about implementing the multi-factor authorization, which is MFA. So when we plan to do that, we'll do those things. Then we have already created all those layers in the backend side, but we need to fix the front end part as well. Then we have the job controller where we create the job, get the job by ID, then get all jobs. And there are lots of things, there's a ton of things, and each things are layer by layer. So let's say if you want to get the job by the let's say you want to delete the job, so you have a job service, so you click control click here, then you can go here to the interface. So this is the interface which we created. So basically it is it is basically used for the abstraction so that we can get our interface different, and then we will have a implementation file of it. So you see here inside we have a job service, the job service implementation file. So it's a better way to do. We created an interface so that nobody needs to think a lot about the implementation. They just need to check the interfaces. Then if they really want to go to the implementation layer, they can directly go here and check all the implementation. So these are the implementation, and the thing like get job by ID and everything is here. Let's talk about the login service. So we have the everything in login service like my user detail repository. Then we have password encoders. So mostly the password encoder will be in the register service layer so that we can actually use it. So this is our password encoder. So it is also auto wired, because we might be having this class, since this class is coming from the Spring framework, security crypto password dot password encoder, so we don't really need to write it, so we'll just auto wire it and use it here. So we are using this password encoder object to encode our password, and we'll be using the bcrypt proper everything here. So I'll show that in a moment, like how everything is going. So, and this is the Elasticsearch layer, this is the indexing service. So let me just quickly show you. Elasticsearch was a bit complex to handle. So yeah, let's search. Let's say the job search service in Elasticsearch. So we have the job search repository. So since we created the entity, you see here, these are all the entities. So these are the entities in the database, which is the Postgres. And we are having this entity. This is also coming from the Lombok. Since we have Lombok, you see here the Lombok.data and all. So we are using data to create all the getter and setters for this class, which is address, and these are all those things related to that. Then we have the ATS analysis history entity. There are a lot of entity to manage, so that's why this project is getting more and more complex and very time consuming, to be honest. And yeah, so you see in the Elasticsearch, there's a difference that in this we have document class, like the job document, so that it will be easy to index everything. So here are all those things, and we have a separate repository layer for it. So if you go to Elasticsearch and we check the job search, so we have these things, and there must be some separate advanced search query with the multiple criteria for the custom Elasticsearch query things. So this is something which is more complex to explain, but yeah, then we have these things. So we try to maintain the comments and documentation as per the industry levels, and you can see the other repository layers as well. You can see here you see we are using the JPA repository, so it is extending the JPA, since in this case we are using data JPA, and we are using some other query options here to get the find by the user, and other things, more complex stuff like this, find all with relations and all. These are even more complex. Then we have, like, there are a lot of complexity in this, so I'll just leave it for you to understand. Then we have the security. So this is the major part. So we have implemented the security, and we have tried to do everything around it. So you see, we implemented the JWT util. So you can see here all the claims and all, and everything that you know some little bit hard coded data is also there, but we have also mentioned those things in the example, Then we have the authentication filter, and this is the authentication filter here, and this will have like the basic things like find recruiter by refresh token and all. So find user by refresh token. So these things basically for the refresh token and authentication purpose, And we have a do filter internal chain, so this will be taking care of those things. So the main thing here is the security config file. So if you go here, you see there are multiple AutoWire things, which is cars config, then your my user details service. So all these are coming from the Spring Security 6 point some version, and there are a lot of files like limiting filters. Then we have also implemented the security headers filter, then security logging filters as well is also there. Then we have cookie CSRF token repository also there, and XSS sanitizing filter is also there, and we are also preventing the SQL injection, HTML injection just by sanitizing the input and all. So all those things are there, and we are using the prepared statement every time since we are using the data JPA and extending the JPA repository to create the query on its own. So we are not creating the query personally, and it is getting generated automatically. So for that, it is good. Then we have, you see here that we have CSRF token also enabled. So it's not disabled. So you see if CSRF enabled, so we have all those things. Then yeah, these things. Else we will disable it. So you know, so our CSRF is enabled properly, and we have security headers as well. Then we have authorization configuration as well, like request matchers. So if the request matches to these API endpoints, so it will just permit like what API endpoints are allowed for the public user to see. So there are a few things, and then we have request matchers, and you know the add filter like security header login rate limiting and all those things are also added. And bcrypt password encoder is added as a bean component. So there is different types like @bean, component, service. So we have a lot of annotations to study on those things. So apart from this, you can also check out the security event logger and all. Everything is there, and yeah, all those things is there. Then we have XSS sanitizing filter also. You can check that we have the sanitization for the links, for the blocks, tables, images, everything. And like these are the actual sanitizers inputs. So it will replace the input with, if it gets something, fishy, so it will replace it with some other, the regex values here, which is mentioned. So the security is very well implemented. We have made sure that those things work very well. So let's talk about the service. I think service, we have gone through the approach where we create the interface first. And after creating the interface, we will create the implementation. So these are the interfaces. Then we have the implementation, so that we keep our logic separate than the interfaces. So those things are there, and we have also created a Docker file as well. So you see, this is our Docker file to build our the backend. We have a Docker compose file as well, and you see we are excluding all the the secrets and credentials from here. You see everything, mostly all those, like, for example, the OpenAI API key. All those things are basically kept outside, the scope of another user. And here are more things like Postgres configuration image. So we are taking the Ankane image, and we about the the Linux. So we are also using the Alpine version. So we are trying to keep it simple and secure for everyone. If we check, let me check. See, yeah, we are using the OpenJDK 17 and all. We are trying to use the Ankane and all, and um, yeah. So all the other, the required things are already mentioned here. And let me quickly open the Docker file to just let you know that it is working. I just give me a second. Open. So you see, this is our Docker desktop. So you see, we have this, the API. We can go to the port and check, you know, since we can check the logs. I think for the backend logs, you can see it here. And we are, we are properly implementing the loggings and all. And we have also implemented the Sentry for it to get the proper logs. So everything is good, looks like. And then we have the Elasticsearch logs as well. So whenever there will be changes in the, if we are searching for anything, whenever there is a use of Elasticsearch, so it will print the logs over there. Then we have the database logs and all. So I'll just check in a moment if we get the, you know, and also one more thing, like how to install all those things are already mentioned in the README file. So I don't want to go through that again. So it will be a long video. But for now, let me just give you like a simple, um, for example, if we go to the backend, we can check the Docker Compose, or you can say Docker PS. Um, just a second. You see, all these things are already running, so I don't want to run it again. If you want to run it again, you can use Docker Compose up, hyphen hyphen build to build it, then hyphen D. All those things are already there. You just need to use one command, and you should be having the softwares like, you know, the JDK should be the thing. You should have Maven, then you should have the Postman and some text editor and all. Then you should have Docker. So those things are obvious. And yeah. And apart from those, like the coding part, we also did some testings and as well. So you see here, so these are the E2E end-to-end testing and integration testing. Then service testing, unit testing, all those things are there. Then we have the resources. You see, these are the resources. This is for the the Sentry. So we have the logback spring.xml file created for the Sentry, and these are the data which is required to be pushed initially to initialize the tables properly. You can use some Docker command to execute the query. Then we have the SQL, the application.yaml file for just to for the configuration purpose here. But we are getting the data from the env file and all. So yeah, that is also. And then we also have the Elasticsearch job settings .json file. So these are the settings we have for the configurations for the Elasticsearch. So apart from this, you see the backend is already running. So let's switch to the front end folder and let's see. The front end folder is probably here. So let's run the front end. For running the front end, we just need to install the front end packages which we require. So for that, use the node package manager since our project is in React, so it's like that only. So npm run dev, we just do that, and okay, it looks like it's already in use. So let me kill some other terminal. Let me run it again. So you see it will be running now. So yeah, so it's running in port 5000. Let me open it again. So I've already created the account for the sake of just to get the demo quick. So this is the account, but if we there are lots of validations here. So for now, let's just sign into our to my account, and you see there are lots of application trends, skill match score. Then we have our top job matches, and the role job roles and all. So yeah, so it's like that. Then we have the job application and all, then find jobs, etc. Dashboard, and the save jobs also there, so that you can search, for example. And also the Elasticsearch is implemented here, so when you search, it is very quick, and you see the company, you see the details and all. And you can also apply. If you apply, you can just go here to the my application. You see that yeah, we have applied here in a company. You can also withdraw your application, and you see that no application found. And you can also, so we have given the limits for the upload size for the resume. So the maximum limit is 5 MB here. The file storage is secure. We can upload those things. And we have the analysis history, resume selection. Then we have the my profile. So this is my profile and all. We can add more skills here. From here, if we add Java, let's say I have Java, and you see it is added in my skill. Then let's say if we have any other thing, for example, let's say Laravel, so it gets added here, you know. So those things works. And we have created a simple documentation, so just to get this started. And this is the documentation, and a little bit about the architecture, what we are using, the data layers and all, I think. And some features about the project, and the API reference is also there. So if you click on the Swagger documentation, you can see the API references. So it will take a few minutes to load. Yeah. So you see that the candidate controller, everything is getting, the it is getting logged in, etc. So you see that it is working fine. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so that's how it works. Then we have these are the schema. So these are the database schema. For address, you have these entities. So the candidate, you have these fields. Then for job, you have these fields. And for location, you have these fields. We have made it public right now since it's a POC. We are not going to make it in production. So yeah, that's how it works. But we focus majorly on the security part of the application. So it's mostly we are only working on the security part to make it secure. We also added a couple of themes here, so some cool anime themes, and you know Batman themes as well. But for now, let's just keep it simple like this. So you can also see if we directly click here or something like that. click on the, these things. If we click on the saved, it will be saved here in the, it got saved. Then we can apply, click on apply also. But we have already, oh, since we withdraw, we can also apply again. So this is just for the job seeker. And there is very amazing thing which is enhanced. We have created the external job recommendation system as well. But for that we need to, select some resume. And I currently don't have any resume in my hand. Let me check if I have any. I'll pause for a moment to fetch any resume. We have to go to manager, and here I need to upload the resume. So I can direct upload here. So it's getting uploaded. So you see that it is uploaded. If we want to view, we can view it as well. You see Vishal Kumar Patel and other things. This resume we can view. We can also download it. So if you click on the downloads button, it will get downloaded. So previously we were having issues with this. So what we faced that when we click on the download, it was opening in the new link with the S3 key URL and major S3 things. So that's we fixed it. We fixed the security vulnerability, and now we are able to download this. And if we download it, we can see it properly. Then we have this um, sign out. We have this sign up. Here also you can see we can create um company email. Let's say the company is Curtin, Curtin. It's let's say it's a non-profit. Let's say it's education, and let's say we give it some password, and we create it. Okay, we need to give the name as well. So we create it. For now, let's say we save it, so we don't want to. And then we can sign in as a recruiter, and then we log in. So you see, for the recruiter, we have a different dashboard. We have different endpoints to check out. We have applicant flow. We have top job sources, recruiter dashboard. Then we have the jobs posted, total applications. Then we have the interview scheduled, candidates hired. All those things are there. So, when we post a job, let's say we post a job here. Let's say we want to post something, cyber security expert, and full-time employee. Let's say we have a application of 10. Let's say it is optional, but we can say, let's say it is hybrid. Then we give it some random, value, since I think we have done some validations here that we need to at least have 50 characters. Again, we will just add few more things, and for responsibility we also add um, few more things. We added everything, and let's say salary is $70,000 to $1 lakh. Then we want the secure expert to have microservices, Docker, Kubernetes, these things, communication and all as well. Let's say the deadline is probably um let's go for the 1/1/2026, and we post this job. So the post job is successful, and you see the job posted is one here, and yeah, so it's like that. and we have something in manage job. So we can also see the applicants here. We can delete the job post as well. So all those things are here. Let me. There are more things like company profile. You can update. You can edit here and update those things as well. This is not working. This avatar feature, so it won't work. So there are lots of scope of improvement, but yeah, for now we have these things. And let me log back into the, the um, this one, and let me also, since there are jobs, we can search. You see, the cybersecurity is here now. Let me say that we have the cyber. We want, so yeah, it's also coming here as well. Cybersecurity. Or maybe let's say we want something which have the Docker thing. So if we search for Docker, it will also show me the cybersecurity. You know, so these functionality is also there. Let's say on the Kubernetes, if we search for, so this also gets indexed. So that's how we use the vector and Elasticsearch to get it. And then we can click on apply, and you see the applications are two, and it's in currently pending state. And also we have uploaded the resume, right? So we have our analysis history also here. So we can click on the view analysis, and we got 75 marks. Let's see, some optimizations is required, like critical issues, add more industry specific keywords. Then there is summary, Vishal Kumar Patel and all, and my personal email and skills. And there are some issues with the grammar and language analysis, so customer services at Honda. So there are some issues and lack of some things. So it already told me about these things. So I'll just close it, and we can also click here on show resume to reanalyze it, but we don't want to do that. So yeah, we reanalyzed it, but yeah, it took some the cache, so we need to improve this as well. And let's sign out. Since we applied, we can check this out in the recruiter ID. So if you go back to the curtain and we sign in, then you can see we have one applicant here. And who is the applicant is? The applicant is Vishal Patyal. We can see that his ATS score is 75, and we can download his resume as well. If you click, we can download the resume. Okay, so we can, for now, let's say the interview is scheduled for him. So let me just change the state. And message functionality is not there, it's for the future scope. But the application date, apply date is, all those things are there. Now let me sign out. Let me sign out of this, and let's check if the job seeker, the Vishal guy, is, if I got the, so yeah, you see that one interview got scheduled, and there is one profile view. So some recruiter have seen my resume. And yeah, let's see what about my application. So you see the cybersecurity expert application is in interview scheduled state. So you can also check out here, and then you can also see the, so these things are also there, but need a little bit improvement. Let's check the job recommendation thing. So I added my resume here. You see some job recommendations are there. Since my resume was based on the customer service representative, so I got the jobs like for the customer service representatives and things. And these things, customer in the Roseto servicing solutions, long-term health management, customer service rep on, like there are lots of jobs, and these are real jobs. There's not any like fake jobs. So if we click on the apply now, it will take you to the real job, the things, and if let's say some other things, and again it's showing Indeed. Let's not go for the Indeed. Some other, let's open. from here maybe. Again, so some jobs are coming from Indeed, so probably I'll just go to the last one. Okay, so most of it are coming from Indeed probably, but never mind. So we can also filter it out on the basis of if those are remote. So there are no remote jobs. If it is hybrid, no hybrid is available. Do we have on-site? I am not sure. Or maybe we need to, since we applied for, so those things need probably. Let me run it again. So yeah, you got it. So these things are here, and yeah, but not just that. We have few more things, related to the. Let me show you the sentry logs. So we have few more things related to the sentry. So this is, the sentry logs and all, and you see we are getting the whatever we are searching, we are getting all those logs present in the sentry. So you see we have generated analytics data for user ID 1, and yeah, these things we have generated few more things. There are few exceptions on the sentry HTTP interceptor, but we'll be able to resolve that in future. Let's say if you want to resolve it, we'll click here. We'll create a new ticket for it, and we'll assign it to ourselves, and we can probably resolve it in future. But yeah, we get all those details here present, and what's the issue, where is the issue. So in Elastic indexing completed successfully. So the issue is with, so we get all those loggings, and we'll be able to fix all those things and track everything down. Apart from that, we have, some dashboards also present, you know. So let me just take you to the dashboard. So we have some, SecureHire file. Let's go with this one. So this is basically Sentry. So we have number of errors, number of issues, but our overall failure rate is just 4.82%. So which is good, which is not that bad. So yeah, it's majorly like most of the functionality is working. The overall the error rate is just 4.8%. So we are good. It's yeah, so these are all the transactions which has been done, and the high throughput transactions all also there. So mostly like the most of the errors are coming in this part, the authentication and all, and least of them are the this one. And, transaction ordered by failure rate is also there. So mostly, yeah, I told you that this and this will be the most, because people log in wrong credentials, and that's why it will also give. So these error we can ignore. And apart from this, we are getting no other errors. So the 4% which is showing here is also just from the authentication part. So we are good to go. So our website is not giving any error. So we are good to go. We are 100% accurate till now. But there are always a scope of improvement, and doing all those things right. And for the penetration testing, we created a report. I'm gonna show it in a moment. Just a second, let me load it. So here we have the penetration testing report, and you see like we have since we were doing all the penetration testing things in Kali Linux, so we created, and we are having our backend and front end in the Windows and some other things. But the backend is still in the Docker. So, but I didn't. We thought of taking control from the Kali Linux to the host system, which is Windows. So we had the IP address and all, and you know the Spring Boot Docker. Then we have the database search engine and all. The tools which we used is the Burp Suite mostly, and SQL Map for the automated SQL injection testing, then Apache Bench for the load and DDoS simulation and all. And the curl is also very much used in this penetration testing suite. And we use the dev tools like for the client side scripting inspection and some custom payloads as well. So for the XSS, we use Burp Suite to give the custom payloads for it and check everything by intercepting. And like we, for example, for the SQL injection testing, we have this, we gave the command, and so it was good. There was no vulnerability or threat we can get from the SQL injection. So we used the API endpoint to check that, and then for the time being, we also made all those APIs, publicly available to just to check the penetration testing. Here we have given the the access token. So the previous one was without giving the token, and this one with giving the token. So both didn't pass. So that's great. So the report is basically the SQL map injection couldn't able to inject the SQL queries to find out the data from the database. Then we have the cross-site scripting testing. So we use a payload. So I'll just show you that in a minute. So this is our Burp Suite window where we have uploaded all the payloads which will be testing on for the XSS. Since we know that we have already sanitized our input and did it, so we are very much sure that it won't work. Then we have created, the we have also checked that if you see here, if we search it, so it will just convert this into a regex format, and so it will basically sanitize all the inputs which we gave here. And for the CSRF, we created a phishing website to check if that works or not. But we also went through some curl statements as well. So this is the the penetration testing, the phishing website which we used. So we were already logged in. You can see here we were already logged in, and this was still not working. Then we used some curl commands, and the results were good. And it was giving us the 403 forbidden. So that was good that the user was not authorized even after that, since we were using the CSRF token. And for the authentication authorization, we manually tested all those things using the curl and all. I don't have the current screenshots of that, so yes. And the results and all is also there. So we do have the we do have the screenshot for the authentication and authorization testing. You see here, oh, this is for the rate limiting. Okay, so we did the brute force rate limiting attack here. Then we use the Apache bench for the rate limiting attack. So here I think we have gone, the burst rate is 50 and this is 1000 requests per minute. And we achieved the successful results. So the result was good that it was giving us the 429 error which we wanted. And these things are good, and yeah. So the rate limiting was achieved, and then we were for the the file upload validation testing, we use some phishing files. We use some malicious.php files to upload, and that doesn't work either. So we were good to go. Then we also tried for the path traversal testing, and also we gave these paths as the targets and all. Then we also gave the URL encoded files to just to get the um just to get the access of the system. But since you're using the Windows, so it's not working. So we were fine. When we were doing the security headers testing, we especially implemented that file into our system. So yeah, we created a shell script, and you see everything is good, and we got our results. There were some issues in the security headers, so we found that there were two or three things like these things are missing. That strict transport security missing, and then X permitted cross domain policy was missing. So we'll probably will implement that in future to fix this. And there are some more security headers issues which were found that that was the strict transport security which was missing, and the content security policy which was missing. But the other things are good, so we are good. It's a very secure website, so we're probably good. Then you see we used different methods, like we used the Nikto, then Apache Bench, and curl. Then we use the user agent of Mozilla using the Verb Suite as well, but everything worked fine. So yeah, so all those things, works. And some things which we need to work in future, that is to add the HTTPS enforcement for the strict transport security. I mean to fix the 500 errors on login authenticated endpoint. So this is the issue that we need to resolve. That's why we are getting all those errors in the monitor logs. But we don't have the time to, there's a lot of uh, things we have to do. So, and we have the improve. We need to improve the actuator endpoint security. Rest of everything is good. Then we have the session and token management testing. We did that using the Postman, then browser dev tools, most probably those things. And yeah, so these things are working well. And we did the input validation testing manually. Everyone was doing that while we were creating the endpoint. So we did all those manual testing and all. Then we did the password security testing as well, since we are using the bcrypt encoder. So everything is good. We also checked out the database as well, so everything was good. And salting was also done very well. And then we have the audit logging and monitoring. For that, we are definitely using one of the best way, that we integrated this entry for the audit logging and monitoring those things you see here. So we can get all those details from here. So, and it is also easy to resolve the issues from here. And the 4.82% this is the known issue, so we are good. So overall, I would say that our project is very secure, and it follows all the OWASP top 10 security benchmarks and all. And we are good to go for the production from here. If we get some environment for the production, we can also deploy it. And it can handle 300 users probably concurrently. So we need to think of the scalability as well. As per the scalability, we can for now our architecture is monolithic, so we'll just focus to you know get it microservice based architecture. We'll apply the caching, like we'll use the Redis and all to get some caching layers into involved as well. So those things we are planning to do for the future work. And we'll work on more like multi-factor authentication and all everything, those details also. But yeah, for now this much is done. Thank you.